Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. Today I'm kind of on the road a little bit for this week, so that's why videos are limited. I'll be back next week. But whilst we're here, we have terrible mic quality, as you can probably hear. But we're going to be looking at the special site for 6.3. This might be one of the last updates that we get for the special site. And there's a few new sections, the first of which is the challenges section that shows all new information about obviously the second part of Myths of the Realm, which is the Alliance Raid dungeon coming in 6.3. It says the 12 Eorzea's guardian deities seek to fulfill their enigmatic aspirations, and for this they claim they must engage in battle with men. Continuing your efforts to uncover the truth, you and your comrades set forth once more for their heavenly abode above the Phantom Realm. We have some really good images on here, apart from just the Windows XP loading screen. We have the Grahatir picture we've seen before. Then we have one of the pictures against what appears to be Halani. I think that's Halani, with the amazing looking armor there. If that's not Halani, then I don't know what that is. Beautiful background. We have like a moon in the background, sort of like this weird Disneyland made of glass thing on the left there. Fantastic. And it's also sporting the representation of the new Alliance Raid gear on these characters in this image. As you can see, there appears to be sort of like segmented squares on the floor, presumably part of the mechanic for the fight. Very cool stuff. And then the last image is actually of the new gear. Now, if we have a closer look at this, I think you will agree this looks a lot better in an actual CG cutscene, quality picture than it does in the original sketched artwork we saw in a live letter. So from the left to the right there, we have the Alliance Raid gear. It's quite nice, isn't it? It kind of has little bits of crystal, almost reminding me of the Crystal Tower and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's quite nice. I really like that, especially like some of the longer robes, like the one on the right. It appears to have like a almost sort of velvet quality to that fabric, that darker blue fabric, and then the obviously transparency layers of the veil on that one as well. Very nice stuff. I don't know what you think about them, but I think they're quite nice. But it is unfortunate that healers yet again just have a long white robe. But then again, I should have never have complained about that, since it's been the same all the way through. The Eureka Orthos. So this is the first real in-game picture we've seen of Eureka Orthos. We've had some kind of similar picture, but let me read this to you. In the late Third Astral Era, when the ancient Allegan Empire was at the zenith of its glory, researchers toiled deep under the Crystal Tower to uncover secrets which might uplift their motherland to even greater heights. Their laboratory was dubbed Eureka Orthos, where impossible concepts of immortality, cloning, and dominion over the divine were made reality. So fantastic was this research that the legend of Eureka has endured through the ages, and now it falls to the star's foremost adventurer to bring the laboratory's buried secrets into the light of day. This image then featuring one of the sections of Eureka Orthos, the new deep dungeon, and some of the creatures within. From what we saw briefly on the live letter where Yoshi P walked around, this looks drastically different than the area he was in. So presumably the further or deeper you go in the deep dungeon, the more Allegan it might look. Because what we looked at was more of a cave. Very interesting stuff. Very nice. Then, obviously, past the other stuff we've already talked about, we have the Hildebrand Adventures getting a new segment with a new image. This image then of a character in a straw hat and gold cloak that says, after enduring a series of surreal misadventures on the moon, Inspector Hildebrand has made it back to the star's surface. He and his eclectic crew launched themselves directly into the search for Master Poo-Poo's missing companion, an endeavour which attracts the attention of old acquaintances, both affable and aggravating. I can't wait to see more of that. And we also have the weapons section just below that with a lovely picture of Sweaty Geralt. It says, Lord Godbert has been diligently deciphering his ancestors' manual in a bid to recreate the magnificent Mandeville weaponry. Though stymied by cryptic code for quite some time, the key to advancing the augmentation process is finally in his well-manicured hands. I cannot wait to see how disgusting the next section of this will be, considering we had to use sweat, basically. Are we going to go through all of the bodily fluids, Square Enix, or are we going to tame that up a little bit? I don't know. Then we have the tool enhancement quests, which are, of course, the crafting and gathering, sort of like new enhancements. It says, emerging from a hermit-like existence at the bottom of the Tempest, a legendary craftsman makes his triumphant return home. The crystalline mean provides the stage for a new saga of splendid tools and ardent artisans. So yeah, we had the Sky Steel tools, which were in Ishgard before. This time around, we're going back to the first, to the crystalline mean in the, obviously, Crystarium. And there's a new chapter of storyline there. I believe it also requires the completion of the crystalline mean stuff to unlock this, if I remember correctly. So yeah, get going with those quests. And then we have a section on the Leporit tribal quest. We got a beautiful new picture here of the actual hub. It says, with the moon no longer needed for interstellar evacuation, myriad tiny voices cry out for new purpose. Fortunately for the erstwhile Starship crew, their own dreaming way has no little experience in fretting over such matters, and is determined to help each and every Leporit find their way. Beautiful picture here. We have obviously the hub, where you'll be able to pick up your quests, and it appears to have its own disco, so hopefully we can get on that dance floor and do some bunny related dances. It's beautiful. I can't wait to see what's going to come out of that storyline. The Leporits are nuts. Yeah, it's my cup of tea personally. I love it. And of course this will be crafters only, won't it? So that'll be in 6.35. Then we have a custom deliveries client. The new one is Anden. This is in 6.3 itself. It says, in the flowering fields of Ilmeg stand the leafmen, erstwhile mortals who now spend their days as topiary bushes generally do, in quiet contemplation. However, Liederland's status quo has shaken to its roots when the pixies discover a highly irregular shrubbery in their midst. Eotier is quick to identify him as Anden, but who is this lump of leaves anyway, and why won't he stop talking? So they briefly talked about this on a live letter about a leafman being turned back into a humanoid form, because the leafmen were turned to leafmen as a curse, if I remember correctly, if I'm catching up on my lore. So presumably this questline will be quite funny and deal with turning this back into a human, I would imagine. Very cool stuff. I can't wait to see what comes from that. Hopefully there's a nice reward, but of course the EXP is always going to be quite nice, isn't it? And then we have, I believe, just a section on the new Leap of Faith course, which has 2 images. And it does have a write-up. It says, from the depths of a black shroud comes a lofty challenge to those who would reach to the heights of athleticism. Will you be the first walking one? Surely it should be waking one. Walking one to stand as sprightly as a sylph. And the 2 images show this wonderful course, obviously added to the gold saucer in the Leap of Faith gate system. It looks quite fun. It's at the top of treetops, and the weather conditions change as you go up, as was demonstrated in the latest live letter. Yeah, very cool stuff. I love those. More of them, please. And that should be about it. Obviously that's not all that's in 6.3, but we've featured that in other videos. At the bottom there is a section on new items. We have new mounts. We have 2 pictures. We have the Leporit tribal mount, which is a giant pink elephant with a Leporit mask on it. Of course it is. Can't wait to get that. And we also have a airship, which I don't know if that was correct, may or may not be MGP. but I'm hoping it's a large amount of that because it looks fantastic. I do like the idea of a fully fledged sort of traditional styled airship as a mount. That's so cool. And then we have minions. Unsurprisingly, there's the Corgi. They actually previewed this on their YouTube shorts on the official channel, where they show the Corgi in action if you're interested. Very cool stuff. And the other minion is the little Ghosty from Nier, which they promised they would bring into the game, and it's finally accessible. So who knows if that's a quest line or what. Anyway, a link in the description will take you over here. I'm very excited for 6.3, as you could probably imagine. Next week is going to be very heavy on videos, and I'll be in my usual situation with a usual microphone, and I will cover everything I physically can. So much love, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.